Mid-morning, with the sun still out, I joined the crowd of tourists for the view through the Aventine keyhole, the Buco della Serratura, in the door to the Villa Magistrale of the Sovereign Order of Malta. It's famous for the best view of the Dome of St. Peter's, seen foreshortened, framed by perfectly trimmed laurel hedges. Spoiler alert here. By the time I reached the keyhole, which took about a half hour, it had started raining heavily, and photographing a wet keyhole with a wet camera in the rain did not yield any results you want to see. But the view itself is worth seeing, and I would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't been trying to photograph through the keyhole with 100 or so impatient people waiting their turn in the rain behind me. So I walked the 200 or so meters over to the Giardino degli Aranci, the orange garden, which is officially called the Parco Savello. The oranges in question are actually melangoli, bitter oranges. Here there is also a spectacular view of St. Peter's from the Terrazzo Belvedere, even if it's not as famous or perfect as the one through the Aventine keyhole. The sun came out briefly, was replaced by rain and gusts of wind, and made another fleeting appearance as I headed past the seminary of Sant'Anselmo from the late 19th century, despite the Romanesque revival exterior. By the time I'd walked down the hill to Via Marmorata, rain had settled in, and I felt cold. So I returned to my hotel room, added a pullover under my light jacket, and headed off for my lunch at Trattoria Pennestri on Via Giovanni da Empoli. I had heard and read lots of good things about Trattoria Pennestri, and I was not to be disappointed. A very friendly welcome, a table with a good view of the room, and an enticing menu awaited me. A slice of roast pumpkin with salsa verde, hazelnuts, and fresh goat cheese was just what I needed for my antipasto. My entire lunch ended up being vegetarian, as it happened. As to my primo, it was my absolute favorite pasta al forno, cannelloni. The mere thought of cannelloni makes me smile. These cannelloni were stuffed with mixed mushrooms in a creamy mushroom sauce, with pecorino in and around the cannelloni, and deep-fried sage leaves on top. Comfort cooking doesn't come any better than this, and everything about the cannelloni was perfect and joy-inducing. Skipping a secondo, I went straight for a dessert of goat's milk panna cotta, or, as the menu correctly put it, cooked goat's milk, not cream. There was a sauce of red fruits and chopped almonds on and around the latte cotto di capra. An utterly delightful lunch, and I will certainly be back at Trattoria Pennestri the next time I come to Rome. Now it was time to make use of the predicted window of sunny weather for a couple of hours to hop on the 75 bus and spend the afternoon at the park of the Villa Doria Pamphilj. Entering from Via di San Pancrazio, I was soon in the midst of a zone of beauty and tranquility, with only a few other people visible, most of whom were either jogging or walking their dogs. After about 15 minutes or so of meandering along the paths, I came to the staircase by the famed secret garden of the Casino del Bel Respiro. The Casino del Bel Respiro, also known as Casino Algardi, now belongs to the Italian government and is used on some official occasions to house guests of state. It is not normally open to the public, but on 5 dates a year, there are guided tours of roughly an hour each for a maximum of 40 people at a time. One has to submit an application roughly 5 weeks before each date, so you'd have to be able to plan your trip to Rome at short notice if you have the good luck to be accepted. I continued my walk south through the park. Amazing how quiet things were. I would have expected far more people to be out taking a walk. Only an occasional distant ambulance siren reminded me that I was basically in the middle of a city of 2.75 million inhabitants. The weather was a bit dodgy. It wasn't cold, but you can hear the wind, and the skies promised to make good soon on the meteorologist's prediction of late afternoon rain. I just made it back to my bus stop before the rain descended. After a bit of feet-up time back at my hotel, I was ready to head off to my dinner at Almato. The details of my 7-course tasting menu there will be in my next video.